Part 1. The Move. When my sister and I moved into our late grandfather's old home in Pine Hollow, we thought we'd finally caught a break. The house, nestled deep within a secluded wooded town in Pennsylvania, had sat untouched for nearly 12 years. We remembered it fondly from childhood visits, creaky floors, dusty hallways, and the warm scent of old pine wood that lingered long after he passed. But now that we were adults, it was a cheap place to live. We figured with some renovations we could flip it. From the first night, though, something felt wrong. Not the usual old house wrong, like mice in the attic or pipes banging. It was heavier, like the air itself was pressing against your chest. The clocks ticked louder than they should. The shadows seemed to stretch a little too long. And the house, it never quite warmed up, no matter how high we cranked the heat. Part 2. The bedroom door. I took the room at the far end of the hall, the one with the view of the woods. Emily chose the one closest to the stairs. It was our second week when I noticed the bedroom door at the very end of the hallway, the door that was always locked, was now open. I stood there staring into the room for what felt like forever. Dusty furniture, a covered mirror, and an old rocking chair. Nothing particularly unusual, but I swear the chair was moving just slightly, like someone had just gotten up. That night I dreamed of a woman sitting in that same chair, humming. Her face was turned away, but her hands, pale, thin, were brushing the edge of a porcelain doll. When I woke up, the dream clung to me. I went back to the room. The doll was there. Part 3. Whispers and Watches. Emily didn't believe me at first. I don't blame her, but she started hearing things too, whispers in the walls, a woman crying somewhere deep in the house, and the clocks. They started to stop, all at 3:13 a.m. We thought maybe it was stress. Maybe we were feeding off each other's paranoia. Until the night Emily screamed. I found her on the floor staring up at the ceiling. She said she'd seen a woman in her mirror, bruised, her eyes blackened, mouth stitched shut. We tried to leave, packed bags, booked a hotel, but the car wouldn't start. Our phones, dead. Even the landline gave nothing but static. Part 4. The Letters. We found the box in the basement, beneath a loose floorboard, covered in decades of dust. Letters, photographs, and journals, all written by our grandfather. He wrote about a woman named Maren, a caretaker who lived in the home before we were born. She was accused of witchcraft in 1932. They said she cursed the land. The town drove her out, or so they thought. According to Grandpa's journals, she never left. He'd seen her, spoken to her, and once when he tried to sell the house, she whispered to him in his sleep, "This is mine, always mine." Part 5. The Night We Should Have Died. We burned the doll, threw out the letters, sealed the bedroom. It didn't help. On the 13th night, the house locked itself. Every door jammed shut, the windows wouldn't break. The lights flickered and died. And then came the sound, scraping wood, footsteps circling us from the upper floor. We ran into the locked bedroom, thinking it was the last place she'd look. But she was waiting there, not a woman, a shape. Eyes like coal, skin like wax. She opened her stitched mouth and screamed. Everything went black. Part 6. Aftermath. I woke up in a hospital 2 days later. The fire marshal said the house burned down. They found Emily outside, unconscious. I was pulled from the rubble. The strange thing, there were no signs of a fire starting, no electrical issue, no arson, and no evidence of a woman. Just one thing was found in the ashes, a porcelain doll. Its eyes were open. Inspired by local legends in Pennsylvania's abandoned towns, if you hear whispers in the dark, don't answer.